Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our webinar. We're going to give a few more minutes to just allow a few stragglers to come in. So we'll get started in about a minute. Okie dokie. It's just after 10 and respect everybody's time. So I think we should get started. Just quickly, hi, everyone. I'm Adrienne Pyure, Marketing Director for Pyure, and thank you so much for attending our webinar. We're thrilled to introduce our new products, the Insight Edge and MVP16, and explain how Pyure provides measurable outcomes enabled by intelligent IAQ. Today's presentation will last about 30 minutes, and we'll have some time for a Q&A at the end. Please feel free to post questions in the chat, and once the presentation ends, we will go ahead and answer them as time permits. If we don't get to your questions, we'll follow up with you directly, though. So please, throughout the presentation, feel free to just put messages in the chat. So let's get started. I'm thrilled to welcome my team members as presenters today for our webinar. First up, we'll have Meher Khosravi, our Chief Executive Officer, Danny Sala Diakanda, our Chief Operating Officer, and Julius Atkins, our Chief Revenue Officer. And over to you, Meher.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Adrienne. Good morning, afternoon, maybe evening perhaps to everyone. Thank you for joining. Thanks for the time here. And as Adrienne said, Meher Khosravi, CEO of Pyure. I've been in this chair now for the last 15 months, and my involvement in the company goes beyond that. But thank you, first of all, for the support over the last 20 years. It has been an incredible journey in this company in various forms, but as Pyure in the last 4 years. So first and foremost, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And we're very excited about today. It's a transformative event for us. You know, the company has had a 20-year history in different forms and names. We've built 20 years of solid products that actually really work and really deliver and really last. And sometimes that's not a great thing when you're manufacturing products, but for you as our customers, that's a really good thing. But let's face it, you know, maybe our products have not been the coolest looking or the prettiest in the industry, but they work. And that's the most important thing. They work, they're safe, and they deliver. But now, as we go into this new chapter of the company, it's really our time to deliver the innovations that we've been wanting to do, so the innovations that you've been all asking for. And so thereby, this is not just a product launch, but it's really an efforts of a couple of years of engineering and R&D and effort, market feedback, voice of customer. It is the most transformative product launch in the company's history. And it's beyond that. It's truly the start of a new chapter. We are truly setting out to bring the trust back into this industry. A lot of things happened during COVID where a lot of companies made claims that weren't necessarily true in what they could deliver. And we're using our 20-year history of doing what we say we do and to bring trust back into this industry and lead the way there. When you look at beyond the pandemic, you know, indoor air quality isn't just a feel-good initiative anymore. It's not just a sticker on the door. It actually has to have ROI and outcomes. And what we do and how we do it, and we'll talk about that in a moment, isn't just a better smelling air and a safer air. Yes, of course, that's the core of what we do, but it's really turning just the regular air around you, whether it's in an office, at home, or in an industrial plant, into an actual cleansing agent. And really what we are after is improving the way you work, the way you live, and the way you produce. You know, it's not every day that a company can sit back and say that we are actually saving lives like we are with reducing surgical site infections or healthcare infections in healthcare settings or in long-term care facilities, or by reducing neutralizing hazardous gases It's not every day that a company can sit and say we are addressing the food supply chain issues, whether it's by managing live animal diseases like avian flu and swine flu and other bacterial infections, or controlling food waste from controlling rotting and wastage of food, or by minimizing food recalls and helping the world supply chain of food. It's not every day that you can sit back and say we're delivering actual healthcare outcomes like respiratory issues, absenteeism rates in schools or in offices, living with allergies and living with pets. It's not every day that you can sit there and say you're doubling equipment like we do in wastewater and automotive or tire manufacturing because of corrosion control. It's not every day that you have the opportunity, the privilege, and the honor to help disaster response, natural disasters like we had in the unfortunate fires in California or the floods in Florida, and the many others that we faced around North America and around the world in the last few years, and that we can actually play a role in making people's lives better and getting back to life. It's not every day that we can sit there and say you're increasing revenue, reducing costs, and actually delivering what we say we are. And that's a privilege for us to be here as a team doing that. My history with the company has been about four and a half years as a major investor and a board member. And as I said, in this chair for about 15 months. It's a privilege to be here, and I'm incredibly excited as I work with our amazing team to launch the new chapter of where we are going in this company. How we actually do this, we'll get into a lot more details, and today is certainly not enough time to do that. But we really just use the nature's cleansing mechanism that hydroxyls, what the sun does outdoors, and we replicate it indoors. We do it safely, actively, continuously, and dynamically at any scale. And those are a few things that you really want to keep in mind as you look at other technologies out there and do your due diligence. We're using our 20 years of experience to do this. This company has been a best kept secret, perhaps in many cases by our own doing, but I would much rather be here with a technology that's proven, with customers that are happy, with products that last forever and do what they do, and perhaps be a best kept secret, but now is our time to really be on this stage and leading this effort going forward. We are delivering actual measurable ROIs today. And now with the launch of these new products and in general, the new chapter, we're augmenting that with things like machine learning and AI to actually deliver intelligence, not just data, and even automatically optimize the operations. So we offer these outcomes, we can offer them as a service, and we can most importantly just give you the peace of mind that you need to focus on running your businesses and day-to-day lives. Everything starts with the efficacy. Without efficacy of the product, without the air purification products that you look at, without it actually being able to efficiently address the problems, pathogens, VOC, mold, and odors, and others, you can't go anywhere. It needs to do that safely, and it has to do that at any scale, and it has to be able to adapt to your changing environment and to the changes in your parameters. Without those four pieces, the rest of it doesn't come together. So I truly, as I said, encourage you to look into the details of any solution you look into. The 99% claims everybody would like to put up, there's a lot of details behind those that you really, really want to make sure those are done on actual real world reproducibles. And we, in our case, we can actually measure the production of our oxidants and hydroxyls. Many companies, they could tell you that they have sensors and dashboards, but they can't actually measure what they produce. We can actually reduce VOCs, pathogens, and pollutants at high concentrations and at high flow rates. That's not an easy thing to do. We can dynamically adapt to the environment by adjusting our production rates. That's not an easy thing to do. And we can actually now take in business data, process data like yield, use of chemicals, absenteeism rate, and other things to actually consider and give you an outcome and optimization and recommendations. But beyond all of this, we actually stand behind what we do, and we stand behind our products and our outcomes. And that's why we're going to start offering the whole thing as a service, as well as we do today. We want to be your trusted advisor. And my email is in the slides. We're going to talk about this later. But if we ever fail at the mission of actually delivering outcomes, of actually saving lives, of actually reducing costs, increasing revenue, of helping you with recalls and recovery, if we fail at that, you email me and we stand behind what we do. We believe in it. So I'm excited for this. Thanks again for the time. And I'm going to turn it over to my team.
So we would love to say the reason why everyone's talking about indoor air quality is because of sustainability, primarily, the environment, the safety. We would love to say that's the primary reason, but then you would call us out. You'd say, wait a second, what about the economic impact in regards to what? The mighty dollar. If you start thinking about how this indoor air quality impacts the mighty dollar, it's pretty alarming. You first take the first section about productivity. Now, one single recall could cost roughly up to $10 million. Fox 13 News, they actually interviewed a gentleman named Bill Marler. And of course, he was a foodborne illness attorney. So he's looking at it from a certain mindset. But he had brought to attention to companies like Boar's Head Deli Meats, McDonald's Burgers, Carrots. When you hear those different places or those different foods, you can think back last year and you're remembering some of the news titles. You're remembering the fact that 48 million Americans got sick from foodborne illness last year. And then when you say, well, that's just a sickness, what about the health side of things? Of those 48 million, 125,000 were hospitalized. That has a major impact when you do the math. Then you think, well, once you get to the hospital, what happens then? Are there potential issues that we have to deal with that we have to be aware of? Look at that last stat, $10 billion of costs went into surgical site infections alone. Now, what do you do with this information? Well, we have seen that our customers had said, talk to us. So we did. We looked at our different verticals that we're focusing on, some of the ones that Mayor had talked about, and we talked to our partners, we talked to our system integrators, our end users, to gather information so we can understand that we have done the research to modernize and future-proof our technology. And what was the collective result? We see that there is very, very specific information or specific needs that the customer wanted, but you can summarize it into, I want technology, I don't want it complicated in any way, and I just want to trust you. And we want to make sure that all of our customers, new and old, remember that we listened. So as we look at the different pillars, after collecting all this information, we want to look at, well, first off, our customers, they communicate, please solve the tough problems. Think about it. Go over to an office environment, go over to any environment and wash off some of that black mold. And then go back the next day and see if it's there. See how fast it comes back. Or perhaps go near an area that has high hydrogen sulfide content, and then you smell a smell that you almost can't forget. You see the situation that it brings to the table that you will always remember. Or what if I said to you, hey, we are going to get rid of, as a whole, food poisoning. Would you think that sounds unattainable? And we don't want to ever forget the fact that what we did as a whole in the industry a couple years back or a few years back, when we wanted to improve indoor air quality, we cranked up the ventilation rates, right? We also increased filtration. And what does that do to the energy usage? It increases it dramatically. So now let's get to very specific impacts after listening to the customer and what we've been doing. You take a look at that first picture. That a picture tells 1,000 words. That picture was taken, and it was after 7 years that we're looking at that. You look at that copper pipe right there, and in that copper pipe where the dash marks are, the corrosion was removed 7 years ago, and we let our system go out there and remove all the H2S. Well, 7 years later, no more corrosion. A picture tells 1,000 words. And then you look at the graph. The H2S in that level, upwards near 175 ppm, down to 0. That is impactful. Or what about in the food industry, where someone goes from having hundreds of CFUs or colony forming units down to 0? That's proven impact. And at the same time, another customer would say, our return on investment is under 12 months. Or what about when we did a test in a primary school and there was a 43% reduction in sick days? That is extremely impactful. And what we wanted to make sure we do is go back to our customers that has been with us for a while to gather information on this launch. So this particular customer, been a customer for 5 years. They have about 11 installations, full controlled installations to date. What's important about this customer is that they're amongst the most challenging environment. When you come to smoke and all the associated odors, that's something that you can't take just any air purification system and say, I'm going to mitigate that, say I'm going to get rid of that. But what did we do? We listened to all of the things that they've been through. We wanted to make sure that anything that they said was hard in installation, any improvement that we needed to make, that we put into our new system. And that the fact that that customer was willing to talk to us and give us all that information, it makes us proud as the provider. But it doesn't stop with one customer. We make sure that we collect all this information. We make sure we work with all our different customers out there in different verticals that's sitting in there. I mean, some of these names are extremely big, and there's more to come. There's some of you that I'm seeing that's sitting on the participant list that's willing to communicate to us. But as we look at this, we know all of this information and the environment, it leads us to one place. And that's our new system, and that's us solving problems.
Thank you, Julius. So one of the themes that you've heard throughout the presentation is that at Pyure, we've listened to your feedback. Our engineering and product and manufacturing teams have worked tirelessly to develop a cutting-edge system with one key objective in mind: delivering superior performance while significantly reducing cost. Smarter, more powerful, and highly efficient, the new MVP16 system redefines air and surface purification, offering enhanced capabilities and greater scalability. This next generation system is designed to provide up to a 30% reduction in total cost, including installation, maintenance, CapEx, without compromising performance. This is our first fully connected system, seamlessly integrating air and surface purification with real-time indoor air quality monitoring. So what's the result? A smarter, outcome-driven response that ensures healthier environments with maximum efficiency. Here we are going to experience the future of purification with the Inside Edge and MVP16, where innovation meets affordability. One of the most exciting advancements in our MVP16 and Inside Edge system is its versatile and cost-saving configuration options. Unlike previous generation control systems, where every single device and sensor had to be hardwired back to a central controller, our new system offers seamless installation, flexibility, and modernized connectivity. With multiple connectivity options, you can now leverage existing Ethernet networks, reducing installation time and material costs by integrating with your current infrastructure. You can utilize Wi-Fi technology, minimizing wiring and complexity, and enable faster, more flexible deployment. You can optimize wiring efficiency. So instead of running back cables from all your equipment to a single controller, devices can now connect to the nearest MVP16 or Inside Edge units, simplifying setup and reducing labor costs. This smarter, more adaptable approach means lower upfront cost, easier scalability, and faster installation, all while maintaining the robust performance and reliability you, our customer, expect from Pyure. More connectivity, less complexity, and greater efficiency. The Inside Edge and MVP16 system is designed to redefine performance, efficiency, and connectivity in air purification. This next generation offers seamless integration, enhanced controls, and reduces operational cost, making it the ultimate solution for modern environments. Some of the key benefits, and we'll cover some of them here: improved connection options, as we've talked about, with Ethernet, cellular, and Wi-Fi, as well as power over Ethernet capabilities. The system ensures flexible, cost-effective installation and improved accessibility. Flexible mounting option, a quick access optic rack system and ballast plate simplify installation and maintenance. It is also built for durability. It is designed to meet the IP65 standard, ensuring resilience in demanding environment. Seamless compatibility. It works effortlessly with previous generation of our purifiers and other models for easy integration. Advanced optic control. Enhanced logic optimizes the optic efficacy, ensuring superior purification performance. We also have remote management and diagnostic. You can configure, update, and troubleshoot the system remotely, reducing costly site visits. And all this is packaged and powered by Rockwell Factory Talk Optics, which is a reliable, high-performance and proven platform delivering smart control and real-time insights. With this cutting-edge technology, smarter automation, and optimized efficiency, the Inside Edge and the MVP16 system sets a new standard in air purification. It is smarter, it is stronger, and it is more efficient. Now, many solutions on the market today provide indoor and outdoor air quality data. But the reality is raw dashboard and charts with multiple variables don't inherently drive value. The true impact to business outcome, to truly impact the business outcome, you must monitor all relevant air quality parameters and understand their impact on critical business factors, such as product yields, as we've talked about, recalls, as Julius mentioned, absenteeism, and overall operational efficiency. You have to be able to go beyond air monitoring by actively reducing VOCs, pathogens, and contaminants, not just in the air, but also on surfaces. You have to continuously measure, monitor, and adjust the purification mechanism to optimize the performance. So what did we do? By integrating AI and machine learning, systems can automatically generate insights, provide recommendations, and even adjust HVAC and air purification settings in real time, ensuring optimal conditions while reducing energy consumption, chemical use, and equipment wear. This data-driven, intelligent approach enables a shift towards indoor air quality as a service, a model that delivers measurable ROI with predictable economics. Indoor air quality as a service is not just about cleaner air. It's about smarter operations, improved business outcomes, and sustainable efficiency. Now let's hear a few words from our great team members.
Hi, I'm Adam Brown. I am Pyure's Director of Production and Logistics. And I want to tell you about the MVP16 from my point of view. We're bringing this thing to market, and its ease of manufacturing, its new simplified design is really going to help us get this thing to any customer that wants to scale their air purification as quickly as possible.
Hi, my name is Kelvin Morgan, and I'm part of the Pyure engineering team. This is our latest MVP16 design. I want to share some of the features that I love about this unit. First, this unit is very easy to install, where you only need to have access to 3 sides of the unit: the intake, the exhaust, which is on the other side, and then the main panel where you have all your racks and components. For me, the best feature that I have for this one right here is regard to when customers love how serviceable this unit is. The racks are very easy to go in and out. They're very easy to service in regards to changing out the optics on an annual basis. And you also have your components here that are also very easy to get access to.
Hola, mi nombre es Germán Fernández y estoy con Pyure hace 3 años. Estoy a cargo de la calidad de los productos y así como también la calidad de los suministros. Lo que más me gusta del MVP16 es que tiene muy fácil instalación y que disminuye los tiempos de mantenimiento, los tiempos de parada, por hacer fácil los cambios de los sockets dentro de la máquina. Otra cosa que me gusta mucho es que permite controlar la calidad del producto, es que está suministrado, los componentes metálicos están suministrados por fabricantes locales, y eso permite controlar la calidad de fabricación desde el primer momento hasta el final cuando se entrega.
Hi everybody, I'm Kristen Mayrow. I'm the Director of Global Sourcing here at Pyure. By leveraging proven designs while collaborating with local fabricators, we were able to make key refinements to unlock its full potential. The result is an upgraded product that we've incorporated customer feedback and delivered improved performance and a more attractive and competitive price.
This team has worked tirelessly to make this product come to life, and we're very proud of the work that they've done. So let's talk about the Pyure product family. The Inside Edge and MVP16 is the latest innovation in the Pyure product family, designed to deliver efficacy at scale. From compact, portable solutions to high-capacity control systems, Pyure offers a comprehensive range of air and surface purification technologies to meet diverse applications. Portable solutions are ideal for localized air purification in smaller spaces, providing flexible and effective treatment. Our controlled systems, scalable, high-performance solution designed for industrial, commercial, and mission-critical environment. The MVP16 paired with the Inside Edge bridges the gap between efficiency, intelligence, and scalability, ensuring seamless integration with both existing and future Pyure solutions. With a complete ecosystem of air purification technology, Pyure is committed to delivering healthier environments, improved business outcomes, and measurable ROI, all with a solution tailored to your needs. Purification that scales, performance without compromise.
Thank you, Danny. So hopefully this message has resonated with you. And of course, we've covered a lot of details in a short period of time. And as Adrian called out, please do ask questions in the Q&A, or of course, when we open up the bridge, you can ask questions live. And I can promise you, Adrian will call you out by name if you don't ask questions. So just do yourselves a favor and don't get called out. We're excited about this. We're passionate about this. The team has worked, as Danny said, tirelessly on this. And there's a lot of material here. And of course, you know, you'll have the recording to listen to. But to try to bring this home and summarize really what differentiates us and what differentiates this company is delivering the consistent and proven efficacy, as I said, at any scale and safely. That is not a trivial thing in this industry. And if many of you that have had experiences in this area, you would know that you've tried out our products. The air and surface treatment is a big deal. The mechanism of action allows us to not just treat the air, but also neutralize pathogens and pollutants on surfaces. That is a big deal. That's not an easy thing to do. That's because of our mechanism of action. You can put a very large unit in this industry in a very small room and deliver high efficacy, but you can't do it safely. We had FDA Class 2 medical device registration years before anybody else in the industry did, and only during emergency use authorizations, via emergency use authorizations during COVID. We had this many years before then. To the best of our knowledge, we are the only company with a published FDA toxicity study in this area. Safety matters. It has to adapt to your environment. Your environment changes, your parameters changes. And Danny talked about the use of AI and machine learning for us not only to adapt to your environment, but also learn and actually provide recommendations and optimize automatically. But your environment changes and the technology has to adapt to it. It has to dynamically adjust production and measure that production of whatever mechanism of action the air purification system is. And beyond all of it, where's the ROI? You may have a system that delivers efficacy and safety safely. And however, it increases energy usage to a point where it's untenable. Maybe it will do so, but dynamic environments change that. Maybe it doesn't actually reduce your use of chemical treatment alternatives. You have to take all of those into account and really truly look at the ROI. And that's why we have success stories. That's why you have Fortune 50, Fortune 100 companies that put their name up there alongside of us because we delivered those outcomes. This is not one of those corporate ROI and total cost of ownership slides for marketing purposes, but actual data behind those. And ultimately, we want to be alongside of you. We want to be the partner. We are going to be there. We are going to be out there aggressively telling our story. We're not going to be a best kept secret anymore. We are going to use our 20 years of proven success. Thanks to many of you for your support there, and hopefully many new friends here along the way. We are going to execute with a sense of urgency. We are going to tell the story of reducing surgical site infections at hospitals. We are going to spread the word on reduction of infections and spread of illnesses at senior care facilities. We are going to tell the story of reducing sick days 43% in a primary care school. We are going to talk about how we neutralize hazardous lethal gases like H2S and ammonia in wastewater, doubling equipment life. We are going to talk about how we put hundreds of soldiers back into a condemned mold-infested building a few weeks after installation of our equipment when that building was supposed to be turned out and they were living an unhealthy life. We're going to talk about how we're eliminating packaging recalls in food processing, or soon, hopefully, working with the USDA to look at how we can better help with things like avian flu and swine flu and others. We're going to talk about restoring $2 million worth of soft goods after a fire, so a retailer doesn't have to go through that insurance coverage and claims. We're going to tell the story. We're going to be out there, and we need you alongside of us. We welcome the opportunity to become your trusted advisor, not just another vendor. We want to be there with you to measure those ROIs and celebrate the success. And whether we deliver that as a service or not, that's up to you. We ultimately want a chance to be a partner. We want to change the way your employees and your customers live healthier lives, work more productively, socialize with peace of mind. And we want to ensure that your businesses prosper by increasing your revenue, reducing costs, reducing risk, lowering equipment failure. That is the Pyure commitment. We are here to stand behind it, and we want to deliver these to you, these outcomes to you, whether it's as a service or not. But that is our commitment to you as Pyure. Thanks again for the time. We absolutely appreciate the loyalty that you have to us as a company. We are excited beyond words for this journey, for this new chapter. And thanks again for the time. And hopefully we can get into some Q&A.
I think you're muted, Adrian.
Adrian, you're muted.
Wow, professional marketer here. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I'll get into a few of the questions here quickly. I'm going to give this one to Danny. Nicholas says, no more MVP14. So maybe you could speak to why the MVP16 now versus the 14, and then as a follow-up question to that, speak to the Insight Edge and how that can integrate with existing products.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. And this is a fair question about the MVP14. So what we did with our MVP16 was to enhance the capabilities that we had on the 14, right? So we added additional optics, we added additional flexibility, and with the Insight Edge system that's now able to communicate with all installations. If you have existing MVP14 on the field or IDIs, you could have an Insight Edge in the system to make it work. But the MVP16 is essentially the replacement, the new workhorse of the organization that replaces the outgoing MVP14.
Great, thank you. Danny, just on that note, can you explain if the MVP16 requires a Pyure technician, or can the customer install it themselves?
That's a good question. I mean, the MVP16, we do some work, obviously, in the factory before shipping the Insight Edge. The MVP16 can be installed by a system integrator or a technician that's not from Pyure. We do recommend, obviously, for Pyure to be involved as you first play around with the unit. But yes, it does not require a Pyure employee or a technician to get the installation going. This could be done by a contractor, your local contractor. We have the information on how to install it. We have the information on how to configure it, but we're always there to support anybody that needs to go through that process.
Great. There's another question from Dee asking how easy it is to change optics. Could you just speak to that quick? But just on a secondary note, we will send up some follow-up video content, Dee, on that.
Yep. That is a great question. And this was one of the primary reasons we went with the MVP16. And as we saw in the video earlier with Kelvin, our Director of Field Engineering, changing the optics is now something extremely easy to do. There's a rack system that basically will slide out. So you could slide out the entire rack. You could either replace the optics yourself by removing the connections and put new optics and sliding the rack back in, or you could ship us the rack and we would ship you a brand new rack with all the optics in it. We wanted to focus on ease of maintenance, and this MVP16 allows us to do that.
Great, thank you. Mayor, a question from Tom. Can you talk about how the purification as a service can work for Pyure partner firms?
Yeah, of course. That's a great question, Tom. So this is not a one-size-fits-all, or nor is it a blanket answer, but I can certainly provide some context on that. There's various aspects of this as a service, and I know as a service in various industries means very different things. At the very basis of this is ultimately delivering ROIs as we do today, and delivering outcomes is one thing, but people want to know predictable costs. That's really the only way you can truly measure the ROI and be comfortable with that. Predictable economics is key in that journey. So we've done a number of things already. One, at the most basic level, we have launched the ability, at least in the United States now, and hopefully soon Canada, other jurisdictions will take a little bit more work, but we can certainly work with you on that, to deliver the products on a lease or a rental basis. So that's one thing that we can certainly do. The second thing we're doing is now, especially with the addition of software technology as software components, we are making it very easy. From a consumables perspective, we are bundling all of the consumables, the filters, the optics, the sensor modules, the software licenses. All of that is going to be provided to you on a one cost annual cost basis to our resellers and our end customers. So you have a predictability on that. We are on any multi-year contracts, we're providing not only price protection and price locking, which these days with the geopolitical environment, that could itself be significant value to you, but also again predictable costs, and we'll offer incentives on multi-year as well to make that cost predictable just on the maintenance and the consumables piece. Then when you talk about truly as a service, there's a couple of different ways we could do this. We could take the equipment cost, the license cost, the consumables, all of those combined, and even remote monitoring, remote diagnostics, remote assistance, all of those bundled and provide that on a simple, predictable economics basis. And whether we price it on basically the hardware and all of the associated components and the installation on a pure economic basis, or whether we do that along with some kind of a business KPI taken into account, this is an area where it certainly is not a one-size-fits-all, and it will require some conversations. It's very different from industry to industry. The software will help us do that. The platform will allow us to learn data about the environment and optimize so we can actually deliver outcomes as a service. But for our partners, we would be able to provide you that package on a predictable cost, hardware installation, or hardware, software, and accessories and maintenance all included. And you can certainly then build value-added services on top of that. And we are building our cloud platform and the insight platform and the AI engine and so on, so that our partners can deliver value-added services backed by Pyure, and we can certainly have more discussions with you on that. In the amounts of time we have, hopefully that gives you some sense of what we're doing, but this is certainly something that we are developing live for sector by sector, and we welcome opportunities to work with partners and end customers as we go further down this path.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm going to combine a couple questions here, one from Nicholas Ackerstrom and one from Tom Charlton. Danny, could you just quickly go through how the inside edge controllers work with the sensors to read hydroxyl levels and how they talk to the MVP16?
Sure, absolutely. So the way the inside edge controller is a little bit different from our old controllers, specifically from a wiring perspective, is that you're able to be on the Ethernet network, and you can also communicate via Wi-Fi directly to our inside edge controller. So we have our proven sensors, whether it's our DR sensors or our new release AQ sensors. We communicate and send those signals back to the inside edge controller via Ethernet or Wi-Fi or hard connected. And we're able to take this information and basically come up with what our true oxygen level is, and then use the control from that. But we also combine that with some additional IAQ sensor data to make recommendations to the system on how to perform better.
Great, thanks. Mayor?
Adrian, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
I was going to say, I saw a question there in the Q&A as well regarding the coverage gap between the Mini 50 and the Slimline from, I think, Fraser earlier. I think I can comment on that, and I think you had a question for me, Adrian. But I was also going to say to everyone, well, you can unmute yourselves, I think, now, if I'm not mistaken. Adrian can confirm, but please, you can ask live questions, and we encourage you beyond any questions you have. Also, feel free. You tell us how we can do better by you as customers or partners. Tell us what you would like to see that we haven't talked about. If there's any other areas that you think you would like to discuss here, please do so.
They can't unmute, Mayor. I'll see if I can change that, but
I think okay, if we can, we'd love to, for you guys to also ask questions live. In terms of the scalability in coverage between the Mini 50 and the Slimline, thanks for the question, Fraser. I think the question was, there's a gap there. Of course, the Mini is beautiful, the Slimline maybe not so much. Well, we don't disagree with you. It's there are a couple of things I would say on that. So we had been working on a product that we just hadn't got around to launching yet that does address that very gap that you mentioned. That's not actually the evolution of the Slimline, but we want to do it right. We want to introduce some incredible capabilities that we've just never had before in any of our products in the portable family. So we deliberately paused that in order to bring those capabilities in there, and that's going to address the gap. We're also working on an initiative that is going to lower the cost of the minis, and therefore, in general, our portable products, and that also address that if you have to deploy multiple of them. But very fair question, and yes, top of mind for us in addressing that gap.
Thanks, Mayor.
And Adrian, I think you had a question for me as well, follow up.
Sorry, there's a couple more questions in the chat here that I'll keep distributing. I believe I unmuted, but we'll have to see if that works. There's a question for Julius from Nicole, just in regards to when Pyure goes to market kind of as OEM and markets to the verticals that we've mentioned specifically, and then we're generating interest, and that comes back to Pyure. Given our channels and our partners that we work with, how does the team work to manage that interest?
Thank you, Nicole. It's interesting because the question earlier is also tied to it. One of our partners asked for, as a service, how are you going to deal with your partner? We are committed to our partners. So the as a service section of it will be channeled through the partners that we have. And also when we get marketing leads, even from this type of thing, and we have a local partner, we're going to be working through our partners. So that's going to stay intact. So you will see sales management reach out to all of our reps or distributors to handle those leads.
Great, thank you. Danny, does the MVP16 have to be installed into a duct, or are there alternate options?
Good question. Yeah, it does not, right? So we do recommend, obviously, there's some installations that would be installed into a duct using a bypass, but we do also have a blower options that you can connect to your MVP16 as well as a filter box, so that you don't have to install it inside a duct, right? So some of the examples may be, wastewater, for example. You may have a sludge pit where you don't necessarily have a duct, and you're just going to install the MVP16. So it does not need to be.
Great, thank you. Do we know, this is to the group, probably Mayor, how tariffs to Canada will be affected, our products? Evolving situation.
It depends on the hour of the day and the day of the week and whether the sky is blue or orange or red or, you know, it really it is an evolving situation. We are actively working through understanding that with our vendors, even prior to the tariffs actually having been announced. We were actively working through the potential impact. We are going to be publishing the 2025 updated prices here and new pricing policy and so on here within the next few weeks. And unfortunately, as a result of the dynamic aspect of the situation, nature of the situation, it's just going to...
How this is discharging the air, dispersing, because that is the key.
Sorry, could you repeat the question? Okay, look, I'm sorry, we couldn't quite make out that question, so we'll just move on. Maybe put it in the chat. I think that might be a little bit more, bit easier.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
So it is going to be an evolving situation. Our pricing policy is going to have to, unfortunately, just be a shorter term, as there will be ongoing changes and impacts to this, but not a clear answer on that. All we know today is that, unfortunately, as is the case with most of our suppliers have told us that their prices are going up and therefore ours, but we are actively trying to work through minimizing impact to the best of our abilities, of course, and we'll communicate all of this as quickly as possible as we have the information.
Great, thank you. Danny, there's a question from Tom Moriarty on the product design for our Boston XL3 products. Can you explain a little bit about maybe what what we look at when we look to redesign or make updates to products?
Yeah, that's great. And I did see Tom's question or comment. This is a really, really good comment. And this is what we want to hear, right? We want to hear directly from the field. We want to hear from you. And this is how we came up with the MVP16. But we want to hear from you about all the products that you're using in our portfolio to see how we can enhance what we give to you so that your ability to service your end customer is enhanced, right? So I think this is a really great comment on the Boston, the XL3, Tom, and we'll definitely take that into account. Absolutely.
Thanks, Danny. Julius, just quickly, can you speak to the safety of our UV lights that we use?
Yeah, of course. So as you look at all the units, they're all encased and they're all either, if it's a portable unit, it's encased and it has a filter system. If it's a unit like we were showing with MVP16, it's actually in ductwork. So you never have direct line of sight exposure. The other thing that we want to remind everybody is that we're developing hydroxyls, right? So hydroxyls are in most, I think most know here, but that's the equivalent of if you walk outside, you're covered in hydroxyls. So earlier in our presentation, we were talking about the toxicity study, and we were talking about the fact that one of our units is actually FDA registered, not FDA cleared. So you can actually look that up.
Great, thank you. Danny, can you share where our MVP16 is manufactured?
Sure. Our MVP16 is manufactured right here in Florida in our Boynton Beach facility. We're very, very proud of the team that's here with us today. They are actually watching the webinar live, so a big shout out to them. But yes, we are based here in Florida.
Wonderful. All right. That covers, I believe we covered everything that is in the chat. So what we'll do is I've advanced the slides and we've got all of our team members' email addresses here. Like Mayor shared, we're very open to communicating with you and answering any questions that you have. So please feel free to ask us any questions. We don't want anything left hanging. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We really, really appreciate your time. There will be a recording that's available that I will share with the attendee list. And hopefully you got value from this, and we're excited to promote these products and get Pyure well known in the market. So again, thank you to everybody for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.